also there's something about the use of power tools that just, I don't know, you just need it sometimes. Hey y'all, how's it going? Today we are going to work on the backyard garden. I'm calling it a redesign, but like it's not that serious. So I wasn't really sure where on my garden to-do list I wanted to start. And then our favorite coop dog, our garden guardian man, he kind of just plotted himself out here, and I said, you know what? I would like to spend some time with the coop dog today. I decided we were at least going to start the mini backyard garden redesign. Okay guys, so if you are new here or you haven't been here that long, let me give you a very brief history of this backyard garden. So we are in Zone 8B in Austin, Texas, and the house that we live in is a rental house. However, when we moved in, I knew we were probably going to want to live here for at least a couple of years. So I went ahead and took the chance and I built backyard gardens. This whole strip, so I'm standing on the patio. This whole strip starting in this corner, that corner was already there, but everything else along this fence line that you see, all of this, I built that in September of 2020, knowing that I would very likely have to tear it down and plant grass. And so that's what I will be doing this fall actually, but for this last spring in this garden, I really want to kind of open things up. And that's really for a couple of reasons. Last year when I planted tomatoes, I planted them too deep, so, like not as in like too deep in the ground, as in like 2 rows of tomatoes, and they didn't have enough space between them for them to really be healthy tomatoes. So my thought was, okay, I'm gonna plant the tomatoes all along the back fence in all of these beds. And that's the plan for this year. However, the way that I have the beds built, I had some green arches in between the beds, which were awesome. But then I really lost the 4 foot by 4 foot space between the arches because of the shade from the arches. So the way that this house works is the sun rises on one side of the house, and then once it peaks over the top of the house, the garden gets like a very optimal like 6 to 7 hours of really hot sun, and then it gets a break in that like late afternoon hot sun. So the spring and summer garden back here is amazing and beautiful and perfect. So that's kind of the background about this garden. I didn't want to put in too much work because I'll be tearing this garden out in probably 8 months so that we can plant grass in plenty of time before we have to move out next spring. But yeah, so now that I've kind of given you a tiny bit of background, let me tell you exactly what we're gonna do, and I doubt I'm gonna get this all done today. Let's talk about the steps. I built these gardens with pre-treated, pressure-treated wood, which I have a lot of opinions about, but you can go form your own opinion. And then these are just wood screws. So actually some of these have come loose, just with the weather and pressure and whatever else. But some of them have done really well. The majority of them have stayed together, but some of them have kind of come loose, so probably need to fix those as well. And then I'm also going to be cutting these. I don't know why I left these like this. I have no idea. So I'm going to come in with a buzzsaw and just make these all level. And then after I get these, wow, high shadow. After I get these posts removed, I'm going to reattach them in the front here. And then we're going to have to transfer this grass area into some nice rich compost. And that sleeping dog is going to stay right where he's at because he's a happy camper. So I am kind of realizing looking at this that this bed was not put flush against the fence by me. And these other 2 were. So I might actually have to move this bed more flush against the fence so that these posts right here aren't crooked. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put in a podcast, and I am going to just get these posts unscrewed, and then we're just gonna reevaluate and see what happens next. So I seem to have lost my bit when I went to go get a manual. So I'm gonna go find another screwdriver bit. Okay, this may be slightly more difficult than I thought it was gonna be. I may have to take a saw and actually just saw the screws. TBD, TBD. Still thinking about it. Let me see if I can get the other ones. Okay, 3 out of 4 with minimal effort. It's not bad. I'll take that for right this very second. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but. Okay guys, it's afternoon in the garden redesign project, and so far I've gotten some of the posts off, and then I've actually sawed down these guys. So previously they looked like that. I still have a couple to go, but I didn't have a charged battery for my saw. So I am moving on to the next step while my battery charges, which is going to be digging out the grass and putting down compost. So normally I operate on a no-till method, which means I don't actually ever dig up the dirt. For this specifically, I need this to perform for me like this year, because I'm only gonna have this part of the garden for 1 season. And I don't have enough time to cardboard and then dirt. I did that last year for my tomato bed, which was very successful, but that bed had 2 months to kind of sit before I actually put anything in it. I have 3 weeks. So that's why I'm just gonna go ahead and dig up the grass and put fresh compost on it. Okay guys, now that we have everything dug up, I want to show you guys the types of compost that I picked and why. This is an organic compost. It was about $10 a bag. I figured I only needed 2 bags for each of these areas to kind of get it leveled out. This is just an organic compost with mycorrhizal fungi, which is really, really good. And then this is from a company called The Ground Up, which is actually a Texas-owned company. I believe this was $8.99 a bag, so not super cheap, but because I've already got pretty good soil that I've grown stuff here multiple times, I didn't really feel like I needed anything crazy. So we're gonna put 1 bag of this and 1 bag of this. My biggest advice when you're looking at soils or compost or whatever to buy, I mean, obviously you want to certainly look for something that's organic if that's your vibe. Some people don't care if things are organic, and that's fine too. You could probably do things a lot cheaper. But I'm just going to spread this on top, and then I will mulch over this in the next week or so. Now, ideally you'd mulch it all right after you spread it, but you know, that's just not where I'm at today, and that's okay. Okay guys, day 3, day 2 that I'm working on this project. And I think we're done. So that's exciting. So let me show you what the whole thing looks like. And I'm telling you right now, it is not a picture of beauty. It's really not. But it's gonna work for me for a season, and that's all I need. So we have 1 big, long garden bed. Now, here's the thing, y'all. It's very windy. This I could not remove from that end. So I just left it there, which I'm not super thrilled about, but it wasn't worth the exhaustion for me personally. But we got the ground dug up. I just took my shovel and I just dug up the grass and turned it over, and any like really big clumps I tossed out basically. But yeah, I feel really good about this. Really, I like to just get things cleaned up, and I just feel good about it. I like it. I like where it's going. So the next steps in getting the backyard garden ready are a couple of things. One of them is I really need to replant grass. We had some really bad black army worms, but also I feel like the dogs have been like just like really taking advantage of like right in front of the garden space to go potty, and it's really damaged the grass. So I really want to have some like nice lush grass in front of the garden beds. Yeah, feel good about this. This looks really nice. It just looks cleaner, it looks a little more cohesive, and without the arches, those just spaces like didn't make any sense. I have just one big long garden bed. Then we have our Vago, and then we have another garden bed that is probably at least a foot less deep. This is what needed to happen, guys. I'm like excited. I was feeling very overwhelmed a few days ago. So, I encourage you, if you have any amendments you would like to make to your own garden, to just go ahead and do it. Like, go ahead and knock it out. I'm feeling way more excited to get this planted out than I was previously. So, all of the encouragement to you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening, and I'll see you next time.